Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. I thought been doing this all week. I thought our live stream was for 8 p.m. I apologize so profusely if anyone was waiting here for the 7 o'clock live stream that I thought was 8 o'clock Eastern time. So I'm just going to sit for a moment and relax and gather myself. I was actually just taking my time, having a little dinner, uh, taking some deep breaths, getting focused, and really looking forward to our time tonight. And here we are. How many minutes? How many minutes behind the curve? 7:25 Eastern time. Well, if you're here, please go ahead and chat in. I'd love to know who's showing up. Happy 12/12. And I'm losing my notes. I just grabbed everything when I realized how far behind I was. Yesterday, I had signed up for a Bob Ross paint party to paint a barn in snow, and I thought it was at 5:30, and it was at 5. So at 10 to 5, my phone gave me the notice that it was I needed to be there in 10 minutes. Luckily, it was just down the hill, and I just threw on some shoes and went and wasn't too late. But yeah, that's how it's been. I wonder how it's been with you guys. Have you kind of felt this sort of time warp that I've been in, or is this just my personal time warp? And today I made it a special point, or this evening I made it a special point not to take my phone with my alarm, with my calendar on it. Oops. Up to the. I just need to text this person so that they know that. Sorry about this. Yeah, I didn't take my phone because I wanted to just sort of peacefully go into my evening, get prepared, and of course, if I had taken my phone, I would have known to be down here at 7 p.m. So let me just. Sorry about this. Yeah, so yeah, if you're here, chat in. Love to know how your December is going and how you are preparing for a powerful 2020. There are lots of things going on in the transits right now, lots of things happening that are turning this off too. Okay. Lots of things happening to prepare us. There, tonight is, or yes, actually this morning, the full moon came in at 5:14 UTC time, Universal Time, and that was about midnight Eastern Time. So it came in on the gate 45, and then most of the day it was in the gate 12, and now I believe that we are, well, according to my time in my head when we were meeting, around, actually, it is right now, we're in the 15. So I want to explain a little bit about that and about how some of the things that came to me in terms of the cycles, where we are. This is an extremely powerful balance point. And maybe astrologers are, hi Judy, maybe astrologers are looking at it differently or seeing things differently. And I've tuned into several astrologers, and I actually had my own astrology reading done just to kind of take a peek ahead next year. And there's some really powerful things coming up, some opportunities, some eclipses, some things that are going to support us in activating our evolution and our awakening and expansion collectively and probably personally too. So I'm not an astrologer, even though human design has a lot to do with astrology. It's only one of the aspects. And if you are into astrology and you want to share some of the things that you see coming through at this time of year to prepare us for moving forward into 2020, please feel free to share. So anyway, as I was preparing for this, I got the guidance to, and I wrote it right down, merge the extremes or the polarities into a balance point and infuse it with light. And when we talk about where the transits are, where the transits are, the moon is in the gates, and how that illuminates where the sun is right now, it will probably, that will be the background for what we will do tonight. And then we're going to use the light of the moon at this balance point to illuminate the theme of the sun. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to happen. But what I want to encourage you to do before I start to lose myself in this is this bag right here has names in it. And I'm going to just double check to make sure if you can get to the description box. I'm going to give you one last opportunity if you want to go ahead and pre-register or register to be entered into the drawing, and I will put your name in, but you have to do it in the next couple of minutes. You can still go ahead and put your name in because as you know, if you've been on these live streams before, you will be able to, you'll get a follow-up email, and it will have some great specials and stuff in it. And this time of year is a great time for all kinds of good deals and price breaks and things that are make it easy for you to gift yourself. And for those of you who have get your names pulled in this drawing, you will also have some free gifts. We're also celebrating tonight 1,300 subscribers. We kind of hit that landmark earlier, I think about a week ago. And there's going to be a drawing for that, and there are going to be a couple of other drawings. So, and you don't have to also be present on these live streams to actually be entered into the drawing. I might change that at some point because there are more names than there are people on this live stream right now. So, so I'd love for you to, to participate live if you can. I know that there are some people who just can't because of the time of the day, and that's perfectly okay, especially since it's a weeknight and there's so many things, so many delightful things going on at this time of year. And if you get this at another time, that's perfectly fine. And we will, you pick it up whenever you can. Time for me is fluid. It's really fluid for me. And I was actually getting caught up today in, what time did the gate 15 come into the moon come into the gate 15 and where are we going to be at the time of this live stream? And it's like, we're dealing here with a full moon that is in the sign of Gemini. So here's where I'm going to kind of launch in and build up to the guidance that I got for what we are going to be working with tonight in terms of energy and our focus. Gemini if you look at the archetype of the Gemini, it's the sign of the twins. So Geminis, if you know how the Gemini personality is described, or the Gemini energy, it's about, extremes. It's like being two people in one body, if you're sun sign, or if you have a lot of aspects in Gemini, right? So here we are at the 1212. um, with the new moon, with the full moon in Gemini. It came in at the gate 12. And the gate 12 in human design is known as standstill or caution. And I'm going to see if I have I'll be right back. Due to my tardiness, I did not have everything prepared. So, welcome those of you who have just come on the line. You still have a couple more minutes if you want to go down to the description box and enter yourself into the drawing. I'm going to, if you get it in here real quick. I still have the page up, and I'll get your names off of there. So I do have a mandala. Yay! Here we are. The moon is here. This is not today's mandala, so ignore where all the planetary placements are. The moon came in on the gate 12. And if you can see the hexagram there, and you know anything about the I Ching, when you have three broken lines on the bottom, or when you have three broken lines, which you can kind of see there on the bottom, that's the yin hexagram and the yin aspect, and then the three solid lines is yang. So we came in, well, it came in on the 45, but these are what felt significant to me. The gate 12 is the yin under yang, the yang under yin hexagram. And it's about standstill, caution, and the balance between the yin and the yang, and also the illusion of separation between heaven and earth. So, you're starting to get the feel. We've got the Gemini, we've got the two extremes of energies that come together to make, if you're embodying that Gemini, let's say your sun sign is in Gemini, they come together to make one person. You've got the yin and the yang in the gate 12. The illusion of the separation between heaven and earth. You've got the gate. Now we're in this, the moon has moved into the 15, which is actually, it's the first few degrees of 15. So here we are at 12. We're in the first few degrees of 15 here, and it's still in Gemini. It'll move over to Cancer very shortly, but it's still before the moon moves on. Let's put it that way. And it moves pretty quickly, so we're not going to be here long, but we have this opportunity. We have this balance point. So those of you who are familiar with with human design, I didn't get anything to drink, so I may have to get something to drink in a minute. Those of you who are familiar with human design, what's gate 15 called? You can feel free to chat it in if you want. Quick. And while you're doing that, I am going to just check. This is your last chance. You can still put yourself in for register, and you'll get the follow-up email also with the specials and stuff like that. I'm sorry, I got distracted by reading the chat. So, okay, let's see what you guys have to say. Ah, Wild Magi, welcome. And Judy says, oh, I told someone I felt like I was caught between heaven and hell today. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I keep getting up. I don't have all of my stuff here. This is what happens sometimes. Yeah. Where did I see that? I was looking at the, the 12. Is that the one that has to do with hell? Or is it the 15? Dante's Inferno. Those of you who have the Gene Keys book, read the 15. It's really good. Another Day in Hell. The shadow aspect of the Gate 15, Judy. So you're seeing how these themes, like there are several gates. There are several gates that, like the sun and the moon, and usually we're tracking the sun for like these general things that we see in terms of transits and themes, but they're usually like an astrological sign will have several gates that are related to it. So there are several differentiations. And so here we are, we're moving from, the 12 in, from the yin and the yang, the heaven and the earth, and then the 15, the shadow of another day in hell, according to Richard Rudd. And I need to illuminate that a little bit, because the shadow of the 15, if you're experiencing the shadow or the lower frequencies of the 15, it's um, it's about dullness. And when you find when you accept, the dullness is like a fulcrum point, like the place where you're neither high nor you're low, but you're in that equilibrium point. And the gift of the 15 is, what's it called? I know I can describe it. It's called magnetism. And it has to do with being grounded and resonating with the Schumann frequency, which is the frequency of 7.8 hertz. And I know I've mentioned this before, that is the frequency of planet Earth. So it's literally being grounded on the fulcrum point of our home here on planet Earth. And this is what brings about the magnetism in our auric field. So we're as we explore extremes, as we explore merging the extremes into the balance point and infusing them with light, that image of being there in that fulcrum, being there in that balance and that tipping point can be very powerful and useful for you at this time. So what does the moon do? Are there any reflectors here? If you're a reflector, chat in. Reflectors know what the moon does because reflectors are lunar beings. So any ideas? Oh, Judy, 12 plus 15. 12 plus 15. Can you do the numerology on that? I can barely do the maths. 27, 9. Interesting. 9 endings. So yeah, and our focus tonight is really to work with the gravitational pull, the energy of the moon at this time, the fullness of the moon. How many of you have been feeling kind of heavy lately and feeling like it's time to release something? Today, I just felt, leading up to this, I just felt kind of stuffed to the brim, and finally I've started to, unstuff, I guess, and the energy is kind of releasing. But yeah, it's been, and that's what can typically happen at a full moon. So, any guesses on what the full moon does in terms of looking at transits and understanding how the neutrino streams can be it's a clue. Where do neutrino streams come from? Okay. Neutrino streams, we get neutrino streams from the sun and the star system. And if you're just new to human design, this is just part of the system where Ra Uru Hu when he got the transmission about human design and what it's about. Not the nine makes sense, yeah. When he got the transmission about the human design and what it's about, part of the transmission was about understanding that neutrinos, the particles that we get primarily from the sun and other stars, have mass. And this was something that he received in his transmission before science actually proved that neutrinos have mass. So in the system of human design, we understand that as them having mass and carrying information that comes through when we're in an upright position through our head center and down through our bodies, through our cells, and leave information, inform us on that light level, and take information about us back out into the cosmos. So getting back to the full moon, the moon reflects what's going on with the sun. It illuminates or it reflects the sun at nighttime. So let's look at that metaphor of the darkness of the sun and it being the only way you can see evidence of light in the darkness is through the reflection of the moon. So when I was looking at the gates of the moon, where the full moon was coming, was hitting, or what it was coming through in the transits with the gate 15 of extremes, of balancing extremes, and the gate 12 the gate 12 first of the standstill, of the balance between the yin and the yang, the illusion of the separation between heaven and earth, and the 15, which is the extremes, the gate of extremes or modesty. And I wrote this out of the definitive book of human design. The gate 15 is the quality of behavior which expresses the proper balance between extremes. So here we are on the fulcrum between extremes in a Gemini full moon of the extremes of the twins, and it's illuminating, or it's bringing to light or showing evidence of the gate 26, which is where the sun is. And this is the gate of it's called the taming of the power of the great. Maximizing, and I wish I could read my writing, maximization of power, the power of memory applied to the nurturing of continuity. And what's significant about this is, and I know I'm kind of deep diving, like taking little deep dips into the chart. So, just take it in for now, and just take it back to your own research, your own contemplation, and let what I'm saying right now just kind of light up little things for you, even if they're not conscious things. Okay. 26 here, it's attached to the will center. It's part of this channel, the 4426, which is about, it holds kind of the energy of the past, and it's part of the tribal stream of gates and circuitry that sort of outlines the path or creates the path of material success that's realized through the tribe. So it's a tribal energy. It's very much about recognizing and also manipulating the memories of the past. And I always hesitate to use the term manipulate, but I think it's really significant here if we look at manipulation as kind of a reframing of uh, of our memories, of our interpretations and our perceptions that may have kept us from using our power correctly and claiming our power, because the will center is also about the correct use of power, the power that comes from what we have the heart to do or experience. It has a lot to do with integrity, with keeping your own integrity. Hi, Robin. With being able to stand by your own integrity. And let me pull my notes out here. The taming of the power of the great, the ego, is it's in the stream of the channels that lead to material success. It's activated by, or it's part of it. It hooks into the will center. And the themes of the will center, I did a video on that about self-confidence and willpower. So go back and look at that if you want to see, what I'm talking about with these collective themes. So when I'm talking about these themes, I'm just kind of talking about the themes of the human condition, not necessarily what you have defined or undefined in your chart. So the themes of the will center, this is what our full moon that is experiencing or embodying or moving through and has a gravitational pull around balancing or working with extremes through the 12 and now the 15, is illuminating the themes around keeping promises, maintaining integrity, manipulating the memory to withstand rejection. The 26 is about sales. And if you have ever been in sales, you have to be able to withstand a lot of no's, like take a lot of no's, right? So withstanding rejection, manipulating your memory. And I want to add in here the reframing of memory of the past, remembering the past selectively to preserve your ego strength and self-esteem, reframing your memories, as I said. So all of these things are the things that we cannot necessarily, the themes that we may be working with at this time under the surface or in the dark that we cannot necessarily see. So we're talking about the moon illuminating the sun in the darkness and the sun being in the 26. So here are some things to consider or to ask yourself as we move into whatever my directive was there, the merging of our work to merge the extremes and polarities into a balance point and infuse it with light, and use the light of the moon to balance at that balance point to illuminate the sun. so so um, so the how are you, this is helping us or assisting us or pulling out of us those things that we may not be able to see about using our power in a healthy and beneficial way. The correct use of power in a way that preserves our integrity and allows us or affords us the opportunity to reframe our memories, reframe the way that we remember the past, in a way that is integrous, in a way that supports our in a way that supports our highest and best. And it also is illuminating or reflecting back the things that we may not be able to see around how we take our rest, on how we take care of ourselves. Do we rest on a regular basis? Or the things that we may not be able to see around creating material success from the heart. I know those are big, like all kinds of sweeping themes, but I just want you to kind of grab onto one that resonates with you. And I can reframe these in questions as well so that you can have something to kind of ponder. Even when we move out of the full moon and the moon begins to wane, that's it, wax and wane, right? Um, Even when the moon begins to wane, there is still that energy there to support us in seeing those things that we needed to see or to release at the full moon. Because remember, the moon, and I was feeling this, feeling that heaviness, and Wild Magi, I was feeling it as well. The moon has that very palpable gravitational pull, and it's almost as though, if you can imagine the pull of or the pull of things that are the water within us, the emotion within us, that kind of comes to a head. The moon pulls the ocean so that there's a high tide, and it's now our high tide season, or a high tide of the month, that can bring up uh, our emotion, our what is deep within us. And at this moon phase, it can bring up whatever it is that we need to release and reconcile and reframe to get to that fulcrum point between the two extremes. So as I'm saying this, what I'm seeing, or what just kind of came in, is, this fulcrum point between extremes, this place where we are supported in having the quality of behavior in the 15 that expresses the proper balance between extremes. This balance is really a balance where, it's really a balance that we're practicing, I think, for the beginning of next year. And it's something that I feel that we need to master, because we're at the precipice. And when we get into, like, the winter solstice, here's this other opportunity in a week or so, 21st, down the line here, in a number of days, um, we're going to come to the winter solstice, and there's another fulcrum point. There's another balance in the cosmos where we have an opportunity to find that balance and find our footing in the balance, so that as we move into the new year with whatever it brings. And, if you're on that path, if you're on the deconditioning path, for instance, if you're on the human design deconditioning path and you just started that, I, when we did our deconditioning live stream a few months ago, we talked about how sometimes there are these tower moments. Sometimes when there needs to be a shift and a change, there are tower moments. And in our collective out here in the world that's illuminated by the sun, we can see how that's happening at the very fabric of our societies and our cultures. There are tower moments happening all the time. And those of us who are seeing it, who are awake within it, are here to hold these balance points, first of all for ourselves, and then to be that balance point and that influence by mere virtue of being balance to those who are around us. And collectively, because we're all connected through, I don't know, string theory or whatever the quantum physics theory is of the day. We're all somehow connected, right, in our consciousness. And those of us who are on this same frequency, those of us who are on this same vibrational plane are connected, and we hold a balance and an energetic, I don't want to say safety net, but it feels kind of like that, an energetic netting of some sort that brings some sort of balance into onto the planet. So I would love to know, and take a moment to chat in, where are you with your balance point? And Robin said, or Wild Magi says she's taking lots of hot baths. Me too. I'm taking a lot of hot baths, and it's really helping. And one of the things that I did a couple of weeks ago was, I've been feeling really since probably over the last 4 years, and it really kind of came to a head a few weeks ago, that I was losing my essence, my essential. In Chinese medicine, they call it your jing. And I remembered that back in the not self days, when I was doing 20 to 25 hours of massage a week, even though I was younger, I I could withstand that a little better. I had more stamina, because I was doing taking Chinese herbs. I was doing acupuncture. I was doing qigong. I was pretty heavily into qigong. I studied medical qigong for a while, and I was doing all of this grounding, energy moving work along with herbal supplementation that really sustained my life force. And so I've gone back to that along with the hot baths, and it seems to be making a big difference. Yeah, Robin, living in the present moment. And that's another thing. As I was leisurely having my dinner on the live stream, during the live stream time, I wrote it down about the extremes. Here is the past, here is the future, and here is the now, and here's the fulcrum point of the now. And it's the our footing in the now, and the way that we cat hair, the way that that was not an orb, it was cat hair. The way that how did they put it in, how's it put in the 26? Manipulate our memories of the past and reframe our memories of the past takes has a lot to do with staying in the now, what's true right now, and doing the reshaping and the remolding of the past calls forth a different kind of a future. And Robin is taking carbon 60. It's good for energy. That's interesting. I'm not familiar with carbon 60. So how are you? What's coming up in terms of, where you've been in this year? How you can reframe those challenges? What challenges have you had that you're able and willing to reframe at this time, so that it reflects more of a stable stance in the now? Does that make sense, or is that too abstract? I guess an easier way to put that is, where have you been? Where are you now? And how is that, and what kind of a future is that shaping? Is that creating a pathway for? So feel free to chat that in. The other things that may come up are, around material success. Where have you been in this year? with your finances, with your career, with your work, with your business. If you have a business, I know this is the time of year when I pull out all my books and I look at trends. And one of my really good friends reminded me not too long ago that she's one class away from her MBA, and she's working with me on really assessing what I've been doing with my time, and how that has been, how that correlates with my income. And I'll tell you, in this past year, to be honest, it has been a struggle. I haven't lost a lot of ground, but looking at the whole huge transition that I've been through in this year, it's kind of a miracle that I've actually kept my business together, and it actually does make some money, but it has been a huge learning curve. And this is the time of year, especially with this full moon, where I can begin to reshape my perceptions of the past, because I've been holding on to, it's been coming up that I've been holding on to uh, grief and just the wounding from the harshness of transition. So that's one thing, those are some things that I really want to use this time for, is to release those types of energies and themes from my life, so that my past gets to be reshaped and remembered in a lighter, more flowing way. And, and I'd love to know what you would like to work with at this time as well, to release, so that you can reshape your past and move forward from this place of balance between extremes into in a lighter, more forward, more flowing way. So Robin says, measure your love of God by the amount of fear in your heart. Father Malachi, I live by this. I am healthier than I have. You've been in 3 years, yeah, working again and planning a side hustle business. Yeah, finally got better, financially got better in October. Awesome. That's great, Robin. Zero energy and vitality this year. Trying to find something new. Yeah, Judy, I just want to encourage you to let the something new find you. And as you stand at these balance points, use that time to allow yourself to be infused with more light, and expand into more love, and into the truth of your own power, and let yourself be that beacon where the new finds you. Heart, not heat. Yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw for something before we move on. So, okay, so we are at the 1,300 subscriber mark, just tipped over it. I really want to thank you guys for being here and for supporting me in this way. Without you, I would not be having as much fun as I'm having with this. And that is the truth. And without you, I would not have my business. And without my business, I wouldn't have this avenue to do my work and express what I came here to do what I came here to do, which is still a mystery to me at times. So what I'm actually doing, going to draw for the 1,300 subscriber, and I put a link to it in the description box. I've revamped my energy alignment sessions, and I'm finally, you guys are the first to know, I haven't actually come out of the closet on this. except I'm coming out of the closet on YouTube, I guess. I haven't even announced it to my email list yet. I've been working with, and you guys know this because I've been running energy all year on you guys, or with you guys. I've been working with with uh, with my own guides for quite a few years, and I've been moving toward revamping the way that I turn lights on within other people, the way that I do energy work with other people one-on-one. And what has emerged, and I've been testing it out over time. I'm still kind of testing it as I take one foot out of the closet. I I go into the Akashic records. I've worked in the Akashic records for about 10 years. I quit doing it professionally when I went into life coaching and human design, because the way that I was taught to do it was really way too cumbersome and heavy for me. So through my own work, I've devised a technique where I go into the records. I bring you in, and I merge, or I invite in the streams of consciousness that are your guide team, my healing guides, your Akashic record representative. So your records are there. Who else comes in? Your higher self. Your higher self usually comes in, and whatever other energies are there to form this really high-powered stream of consciousness that speaks through me most of the time. Sometimes I'm kind of interpreting or telling you what I see, and provides you with guidance and support and healing that sort of kind of breaks you open in a way. I'm not sure how to explain that. I put the link to the page that sort of describes it on in the description box if you want to read about it. But the drawing is for one of those sessions. They're not live sessions because I have to do them when my energy is there, which means that it might not be there at one point, and then 15 minutes later it will be, and then I sit down and do it. So it's impossible to schedule anything like that. And I think it's purer and cleaner when I record it, you get it, and then you work with it, because I'm working with you in the energetic. So let's see who gets this. All right, who's going to get the energy alignment session? Dorothy! Yay! And Dorothy says that she thought she had no growth until she gave it real contemplation. Yeah, and then you realize that you accomplished way more than you thought. Isn't that the way? You guys, look back, even if you're kind of lost in all of my ramblings about the gates and the moon and the sun and all this stuff, just look back on your year and give yourself a big hug for everything that you've accomplished and how you're still thriving and growing through that. It's just amazing. Yes, congratulations, Dorothy. You got the energy alignment session. So, Dorothy, I know you have my email. If you want to just email me, if you have something an issue or a thing that you want to focus on in the alignment, anything that you want me to kind of work with, just email me and let me know within the next day or so, and I'll get started on that when the energy is right. I'm so happy. Glad we're going to do this. Yay. Yeah. And if you're on here and you haven't, if you didn't get in time to register for the live drawing, go ahead and sign up, and you will, there's a link to sign up in the description box there. And you'll also get, if you want to try that, I'm going to give you 50% off an energy alignment session for anybody that's on that list. And you'll have until tomorrow morning Eastern time, because I don't think I'm going to get that message out to you guys until then. So, but when it's out, it's out. So there you go. Okay, I'm going to get a quick drink of water, or a quick kombucha, and I want you guys to just let me know. Take a few minutes to just think back on where you have been, what you've accomplished. And I want to know, if you can chat into the box, what was one of your major accomplishments of 2019? And I will be right back. I should have some music here to play while I open my refrigerator. All right. Okay, this is the last of my Asian pear ginger kombucha, homemade. It's not nearly as good as my other, but I was going to get some sparkling water, but this kind of sparkles. So, and all that stuff in the bottom is just pear and junk that forms when you're on your kombucha when it ferments. So, no major accomplishments. Come on, you guys. Judy, I want to hear one from you, because I've been hearing a lot about no energy. Judy, is it could we say that one of your major accomplishments has been getting to the 9 in the year, getting to the end of the year, and being able to ready yourself for a new beginning, perhaps? Wild Magi says, you stop being a people pleaser. Yay! Yes! Yeah, Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. I quit a very toxic job. Awesome. Even though that takes courage. It takes courage to quit a job when you finally get the pay that you want. That is amazing. Congratulations for having that courage. And Robin, accomplish being your own doctor when the whole yes, you took responsibility. Let's reframe that a little bit. This is a perfect opportunity to use a reflection of the 26 to reframe that memory. You have taken full dominion over your health. And now you are your own authority when it comes to your health and well-being. You want to forget 2019. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's been a really rough year for you. Yeah, so perhaps the being able to reframe and manipulate that memory is going to really benefit you this evening. Okay, awesome. Okay, I am going to, let's see, where are we? We're at 6, 8, 19. I want to, because I might be a little loopy when we go into our meditation here, I want to draw for one more thing before we go in, and then hopefully I'll remember to draw for the third thing. Let's see. Okay, so oh, before I forget, I have in the description box a link for resources. It's actually a blog post that I did with some of my favorite recommendations for books, for classes. Mine are on there too, and courses where you can get more support with studying human design. Things that I recommend: human design in business. What was the last one? And the gene keys too, if you want to check that out. So I know that was the thing that most people said in the poll that they wanted to explore in this live stream, and I really felt like we needed to sort of celebrate the end of the year. So, but I didn't want to leave those people who really wanted to explore resources hanging. So it's there if you want to check it out. Um, you know, pull it up. Some of the links are affiliate links because as a projector, part of my income comes from needs to be passive income. And while it's not like the major thing, my services are my major thing. In full disclosure, there are some affiliate links on there. So if there's something that calls out to you, it might bring me a little bit of commission income too as well. So and feel free to share those things with other people. So I wanted to mention that, and let's see, we are drawing actually for free admission to the first workshop of 2020. One of the things I did was realized as I was going through my books and reviewing the year in business and comparing it to other years and all of that. One of the things I realized is that I really did not do. I think I did one. It wasn't even really a workshop. It was an online downloadable, static class. In the end, I didn't do any live interactive online workshops. And it was something that I was doing the year before, but I kind of got burned out because I didn't know where the boundaries were. Or, I went too deep into a lot of stuff, and it became very heavy for me. And then along with that, I started into this huge change that has led me into a whole different living situation and just up leveled my life. And, it's time to bring those workshops back. So the first one is called the Deconditioning Blueprint. Following on from our live stream from a few months ago, you guys, if you want to know how to have a more focused process for understanding your journey through deconditioning, this is the workshop. And whoever's name gets pulled is the one who gets free admission into the workshop, which will be sometime in January. There's a link in the description box if you want to read about it. It's not even, I just put it up like 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago. So I'm still sort of thinking through the details, but there's enough on there for you to get the gist of what it's about. Okay, so let's see who gets free admission. Vinaya gets free admission. Yay! Yay! I don't think she's on the call, on this call. So I'm writing that down. Awesome. Okay. Yay. All right. So we're going to go through a process. I'm not sure how it's going to go. As you guys know, it can go any way. And I think that I am going to turn some lights off, light a candle, and illuminate the evening. Again, I have lost my, oh, there it is. I actually did bring this over. So you guys get comfortable. Oh, and I'll let you know that if I forget, remind me to do the last drawing when we're done. And that's going to be for a, what's it going to be for? Oh, it's going to be for a one-to-one session. So that's going to be for an hour-long session that you can use for mentoring or for a reading, for a deeper look at your chart. And bear with me while I figure out how to light my own candle here. Huh. This thing is like a blowtorch. Okay. And if you could smell this, you would just love it. It's citrus herb. We have a candle shop in town that I didn't light my full moon there. I'll have to remember that on the next full moon to illuminate my full moon. I have to hold it, I think. I don't know. Okay, just get comfortable. Yeah, I was going to say that you take your containers in and they fill them with whatever your whatever kind of flavor of wax you want. So I got a couple of my pillars filled. We're not going to tell ghost stories tonight. This would be perfect, huh? Okay. All right, so just get comfortable. Put your feet on the floor. I might have to let my dog in, you guys, because I don't think she's going to allow this to go on without her. And this is an exception because I don't usually let her down here. So excuse me one moment. Come on. Come on. Come on, you get to come down. Come on. Sadie, come on. Okay, come on. Come on. Lay down. Okay. It's dark, so you can't see her. Sorry, guys. Okay. All right. Let's just take some deep breaths. Hopefully you all have been breathing the whole time I was running around. Just come into your body, settle in. And if you've been feeling heavy during this time, feel the weight of your body. Just relax into it. Sometimes that heaviness has a lot to do with resisting gravity. And as the moon's gravitational pull comes to its peak, There's no way to resist its influence within us. So just go ahead and drop your grounding cord from your heart. If you're having trouble finding it, just breathe into your heart center. Allow your heart energy to just expand all through your chest cavity and around and through you, front, back, all the way around. And then take that light that's in your chest cavity and just move it all the way down your body, through the base of your pelvis, your legs, your feet, down into the ground, straight into the earth. And let it anchor in so deeply that you know that it is within Mother Earth's deepest, most mysterious places. And this is where her heart beats. And as her heart beats, she transmits the rhythm, the frequency of her heartbeat back up through your grounding cord into your body and into your heart. Then move your attention up through your head, out the top of your head, so that you feel the energy of your attention move up above your head, as high up as you possibly can imagine, to the edge of your human awareness and consciousness. And as it moves up to the outer edges of your human consciousness, it opens into the realm of divine consciousness. And you connect with the energy of divine consciousness and allow that energy to move down, down, down into your heart, merging with the heartbeat of Mother Earth that is within you. So as you merge heaven and earth, you release the illusion that the two are not one. Take a deep breath. Feel yourself within this balance between your past and your future in this powerful now moment. Take another deep breath, and on your exhale, release any perceptions, any discouragement, any grief, or anything that is keeping you from truly seeing the accomplishments that you have made this year. and they're quite big. We've made some big accomplishments this year. Just getting through the turmoil of what the chaos of transition and change, even if you don't perceive or remember the massive changes that you've made inside of you this year, you have withstood and moved with grace through the outer chaotic transition of an entire planetary consciousness. And this, my friends, is no easy feat. So feel the power of being the balance point for your loved ones, for your community, for your city, for your country, for your planet. And do not think that you have done this all alone, as we have all been here with you. And if you have felt alone in your struggles and your challenges throughout this past year, know that you have never, ever been alone. And that you can, at this point, on this fulcrum on which you stand, rewrite and reconfigure your perception of your past to include all of us here in physical who have been part of your network, all of those human and nature friends who have been with you as well. And of course, all who stand behind you and around you in the unseen realms, who support, elevate, and guide you with inspiration, love, and gentle encouragement. Let's take a deep breath and acknowledge that we have made it to this point in one piece, ready to move into our future with all of the support that we can manage, that we can receive. And let's just feel a moment of gratitude for everyone who has been with us, that we are aware of, and everyone who has been with us that we're not aware of. And along with gratitude for those that we may perceive as our friends, as our positive supporters, let's also recognize and manipulate our perceptions to include acceptance and gratitude for those whom we've had issues with, struggles with, conflict with, because they too have helped us to grow. So as we stand here, readying ourselves for the steps forward, Let's look around at the mental, spiritual, emotional, and even physical possessions, belongings, uh, what I'm seeing is like backpacks of stuff that we've maybe picked up along the way. Some of these backpacks and bags are full of trash and garbage because we were cleaning up as we've taken our journey. We've cleaned up the litter alongside of the roads. There are other bags that have clothes and protective garments that we may or may not need moving forward. There are bags with trinkets and tools and things for entertainment and enjoyment, and tools that we have used to uh, fashion things and to fix things and to propel us and move us forward as we've taken our journey through this year. So take a look around in your backpacks and go ahead and rid out anything that you feel that you no longer need. The journey ahead requires a lightness of foot and the ability to move gracefully without being weighed down. This is what is going to maintain your balance through the coming months and years. Release all that is not you, is not a reflection of you, and is not supportive of you at this time. And now I know why I have this candle. Take your unneeded, worn out, unnecessary stuff in your bags and fill up all of the bags except for one. You can retain one with the things that are absolutely necessary. Take all of the other bags, fill them up with everything that you no longer need, and throw them into this light. And you may want to just take some deep breaths, really emphasize that exhale as though it were helping you to catapult your unnecessary garments, protections, garbage, memories that don't serve you, beliefs that hold you back, obligations, lack of clarity, bad habits, things that affect your health. And as you do that, you are clearing the space around you, clearing the space below you, clearing the space above you, all the way around you, as though you are plucking things, plucking obstacles out of your energy field and moving them into this fire. And as you do that, you're making more room and more space throughout your aura for new connections, new tools, new friends, new energy, better health, a higher level of well-being. And a way of life that brings you joy, peace, satisfaction, and success. I'm not sure where to put this. So take some deep breaths. You might want to move around a little bit and sort of flush out your aura with your movements. So as you tie up the last few remnants of acknowledgement and celebration for this year, from now until the end of the year, may you freely release those things that have tethered you to a version of your past that is not in keeping or in alignment with who you have become and where you are going in your steps forward. And may you see things, your memories, in a new light, and be fortified by the shifting of your memories to stand upon this higher platform of equilibrium, of balance, and may you be a recognized blessing for those who truly recognize you. So as your aura is cleared of all of the things from your year that you no longer need to take with you, things from the decade. We are at the end of a decade, guys. Things from a decade that we no longer need to hold on to, the old stories that no longer need to define us. Let's throw that into the fire too. And that makes space. We are making space. Space for a new balance, space for a new way of being. And as you move forward into these last few weeks of the year, take some time to intentionally make way for your future, to write down, to contemplate, to reflect upon your future as though it has happened, and to express how that will be. Feel how it feels in your body when you do it. Let that feeling fill your aura. And do it all from this place of balance upon your fulcrum. So when you're ready, come back into your body, come back into the room. I guess I'll turn on a light. You may want to get something to drink after that. It's really important when we're working with all of this light within us, that and this light that we have access to and energy to hydrate. So I'm going to remind you over and over again of that. And I think it was Wild Magi that was saying, hot baths, yes. Epsom salts, yes. Herbs, supplements, whatever it is that allows you to or supports you in maintaining your balance on your fulcrum, on this precipice of a brand new decade and a brand new year. Yes, we can be balanced in these extremes. And remember that it's our balance that influences the balance of power within ourselves and within those around us. Okay. Whew. Let's see who is going to get the one-to-one session. Remember that you can still use that link to sign up to get the Christmas and the specials. Kathy J. It's a one-to-one session. I don't know. Kathy, are you on here? I will send you a link. Congratulations. Whew. So if you have any last minute things you want to share, anything that came up during our little journey, I'll give you a minute or two to go ahead and do that. I apologize for the delay in getting on today. my fluidity of time perception has just gotten worse as I've gotten older, or maybe it's just confusion. I don't know. All right. Well, I want to thank all of you for being here, and I'm excited about how we move forward into the next year. I have a post on my blog at sandyfreshy.com. If you haven't seen it, it's about the shifts that are taking place that are moving us into 2027, which was a real turning point according to Ra Uruhu. So if you're curious about the perspective from Ra and from the human design, the lens of human design of what is happening, I have kind of a soft core explanation of that on my blog. So feel free to look that up. But I don't think any of us are denying or are skeptical of or are blind to the fact that we are in the midst of a major shift, and we can ride this thing through in the highest and best possible way. So thank you for being here and being part of my network and my net. It means a lot to me. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dorothy and Judy. And for those of you who have won prizes, you know what to do. Dorothy, send me whatever it is that you would like me to focus upon. Vinaya is not here. I'll email her. And Kathy, I will email you as well. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Yes, I feel lighter too. All right. Have a wonderful evening. And I'll be on with a few more videos, I guess. I have a couple in the queue that I haven't gotten out yet about the holidays, so stay tuned. Um, and we will pick up in January. I'm sure we'll be talking before then as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Happy full moon.